grateful for you. And so you can continue to stay on here with us. If you want to switch over to TikTok or you want to watch the rest later on YouTube, those who are watching this now, this is our Tuesday session, live session. So we've started this Tuesday, making sure that whatever we're doing, we start off on live for those who are on Patreon. And we're thankful and grateful for everybody who's coming in. So, we'll have the 30 minutes that we do here on YouTube for everybody. Those who are on Patreon, you'll be able to access what we did on the live the whole time. You'll be able to get the whole thing together at any point. And we appreciate you. Thank you for helping us. We're testing this out for the first time today. So it looks like we're doing well with this. So I'm excited and grateful and thankful. And that's something that if you're a Patreon member, you'll have the ability to be able to do from now on. So we're appreciative of it. And thank you so much. Let's see. So basically, we just kind of been doing questions and answers. If you're on Patreon, by the way, still, if you're one of the Patreon members watching this live, you can feel free to, continue to ask questions over here. If you're one of the people on TikTok that has a question for us, you can feel free to ask the question. We'll go ahead and get into it. So whatever questions you guys have, I'll do my best to be able to answer. I guess we can open it up now. We were kind of doing, really it's kind of Q&A on any level. So any question and answer thing that you want to do, feel free to let it be known. And Bhavakasha, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being on with us, Sister Shima. So any questions you guys have for me, maybe you've seen some stuff on the videos, maybe you've been with us on the lives, maybe you have some spiritual questions, maybe you just have some questions in general. As long as it's not personal questions or whatever, we can feel free to go ahead and do what we do. So anybody have any other questions? Some of y'all been on for an hour. If you want to stay on with us for the next half hour, you can. Any questions anybody has? Shalom, Sister Tamika. How you doing? And once again, thankful for everybody on here. Patreon members, thankful for you guys being on. Hello, Breezy. How you doing? Any questions that you guys have for us? If not, I'm going to, I guess I can go ahead and start again with something. Let's see. All right, Shalom, Sister Deborah, how you doing? And if you're coming on later, if you're a Patreon member, if you missed the first hour, all you got to do is just put in the link that we have now. And anytime later, you should be able to click on that same link or copy and paste that same link, and you should be able to listen from the beginning. Hey, how you doing, Oakland? Yeah. So any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, you said, am I a Christian or Muslim? If I don't mind asking, I'm neither. I believe in the Bible. I believe in the kingdom of heaven. Hadash Shemayim. So I'm neither. I don't fit into either box. I don't check off either box. It said, your question, how to redirect people who are distracted by CRT. If I had the answer for that, I'd be a millionaire. What I would say as far as contextual facts, what I would say about contextual facts is that if you're going to talk about facts and context, well, first of all, comprehend some people are so locked into the system that they're not going to come out. They're not going to come out of that system. Those who have an ear to hear, they'll hear. Right? So it's not our goal, it's not our responsibility to ensure that we make sure that everybody has to believe everything we say. So, like I say all the time, like it's not my goal to change the system. It's my goal to have a system set up and show people how they can live outside that system. They can be in the system, do your business, do schooling, do whatever it is that you want. Try to cause positive change, whatever you can. Be there for people and your family, things of that nature. But don't forget that, hey, we're trying to set up a system that you can come out of. We got a message for you. We have things to teach you about sovereignty. We have things to teach you about love, self-care, culture, things like that, where you don't have to stay in it, right? It's your thought process, it's your mindset, it's your belief system, it's your right, rather. It's your right to do whatever you want. But, it's not my goal to change a system that's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, right? And you can put whatever you want, whoever you want in that system. That system is designed to continue to grind up people and spit them out. My goal is to make sure that, hey, you don't have to be part of this. You don't have to contract yourself, right? You don't have to be in contract with this type system, whatever, right? You said CRTs. I mean, people are talking about CRT, critical race theory, which is a whole argument between people. I'm not a Republican or Democrat, so I don't really argue on either side for that, but it's kind of a political argument, right? Rather than it being something that's beneficial. I'm sorry, Sister Also. Yeah, if you have a question, go ahead. Ask. Fire away. You got issues going on the Patreon? Let me see something real quick. Because even if you had issues, maybe I can at least make sure that we can get you the link. Hold on one second. All right, we have a... Hold on one second. Okay, Sister Barbara, make sure you get the link in a little bit. For some reason, it's not pulling you up. I don't know why. Whatever the reason why is, that might be part of the problem. But I'll make sure I get you the link. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So, yeah, I'll make sure I get you that link as soon as I can. Matter of fact, maybe I'll email it to you now while we're on, to see if we can get you on there. I don't know why we're having an issue with the link. Seemed like it works, you know. We did have somebody else who said it wasn't working either, so I'm not sure what's going on. Could be confusing too if you're somebody who possibly saved the link earlier. I did have to make some changes to it, so maybe if you saved the link earlier, it was difficult for you to come on over there. But yeah, I'm gonna email it to you now, Sister Barbara, just to make sure that you have it for the future. If you want to try and get in now, just to make sure that it is something that's there. Or, you know, that it is something you can get into, even if you want to try it out for the night, even for a little bit. And later on, you can always just go back and listen to it on your own as you have. So I just emailed it to you. So you should have the link. Sister Also said, those who die without Yah, will they have another chance to repent and be saved from the second death? Yeah, so even in the Revelation series, I want to say it has to be probably Revelation... Well, it's Revelation chapter 20. I'm trying to remember what part it would be. It probably would be part 26, 25, 26 somewhere. But just look, whatever part it says, it'll say later on, you know, say Revelation Revisited on the YouTube channel, and then it'll say later on, like whatever chapter it is. I believe it'd be like Revelation, part 26, chapter 20. I'm pretty sure. If you look on there, though, when you get at the end of chapter 20, it talks about that the fact that there's the second death, right? And so those who are down in places even like hell, they're having a second opportunity to get it together. They have a second opportunity to be judged. Yahshua is omnipresent, remember? Omnipotent, omnipresent, things of that nature. So, yeah, when you're dealing with those things or whatever, like, people will have a second chance. Yahshua is still there, trying to talk people, trying to say, hey, you can get it together. You don't have to stay right there. You don't have to, be in one place, in one position. You can move, you can be better, you can be greater. You can finally admit it. And some people are just still going to be like, even if I admit you're Lord, I'm still fighting against you. Remember we talked about that in there? So, there's a lot of different people in there. But as far as CRT, getting back to CRT real quick, when you're dealing with CRT is critical race theory is interesting just because it's something that literally, if you look at it, it's a theory. So first of all, I'm not ever about theories. I'm about facts. So a lot of people are talking about these things theoretically. We need to make sure we have contextual facts. But also critical literally is critique. And then race, is a competition. In this case, it's a competition based on, different schisms based off of skin color. Nevertheless, it's a competition. And then you have a theory on how this stuff came into being. I'm very careful to make sure that just because somebody might have something that seems to agree with a lot of stuff I believe in, it doesn't mean that they're always coming from the proper place contextually or even factually. So that's part of the thing is if we're trying to have a conversation, I guess, like I said, it's not my goal to try and get everybody to agree with me. Never has been, never will be, because you can't have everybody agree with you. What I would say, though, is that as you're having people agree with you, and, or I'm sorry, you're talking to people, at least give them the opportunity, even if it's hard to hear, even if it seems like somebody's saying something extremely racist, or even if somebody wants to use the term reverse racist, whatever. At least always try to give people an opportunity to be heard and to communicate. Those are the things that you want to give somebody a chance to do, and a chance to be a part of. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm looking at both these things. Some of you are in both places at the same time, huh? So some of these things are a little difficult, a little hard to be able to get to comprehend for people. And a lot of times the context is so off, like somebody will be like, hey, you're, why are you calling me a racist? Racism doesn't exist. I'm not racist. Why are you trying to say all white people are racist? Nobody said all white people are racist. Some people have, like Jane Elliott, says that it's very difficult for you to be a white person. She's a white woman, an elderly white woman at that. And so, she's kind of breaking, she's breaking outside the code. She's not supposed to say some of those things that she says, but she makes it a point to speak on those things quite a bit. And, but I don't even say that everybody's racist, but there's a system of racism. It's a system. White people have to be taught it. Black people have to be taught it. In order for us to be so against each other. Remember, Revelation chapter 6, verses 3 and 4. How do you get people to fight against each other? You take away peace. So you have a system that's designed to make sure you have no peace. If we keep making sure that you have no peace, like what else is there? Hey, how you doing, TJ? Like, what else is there? So, it's at least something that's, I'd say at least the conversation is necessary, because at least we can have honest conversation, open conversation, and begin to speak on these things correctly and hold each other accountable for things that are not correct. There's been a lot of things that have been around for quite some time and they're not correct at all. And so, at least we're in a position to where we can have some kind of honest conversation about it. A lot of people don't want to have the honest conversation about it, but at least we're in a position where these things are coming up. And one of the things I do like about critical race theory is because it kind of, you can see everybody for what they are. And I'm not just talking about on the Republican side, I'm talking about on the Democratic side as well. Because some people use critical race theory to be ad hominem and to just say, hey, if you're white and you don't agree with us, then you're a bad person. And some white people use it to be able to say, hey, if you think that racism is real, then you're a bad person. It kind of shows you, and people fall where they are. Some people are able to actually have some kind of level-headed in between, but both sides, unfortunately, have people that can't take critique or think critically, right? So if you can't have critical thought, if you can't have your thought be critiqued, if you can't have somebody say, hey, I think there might be a part of your theory that's wrong on either side, it shows that you're somebody who's not able to be empathetic, and somebody who's not empathetic, you can't really have a conversation with. So I at least am appreciative that critical race theory has become as prominent as it is, if for no other reason than people can be called out on both sides. But yeah, critical race theory is the new talking point to cause division. And at the end of the day, all this stuff about critical race theory, my whole thing is what's changing. At the end of the day, what's changing? And all the stuff people are doing, hey, shalom, Sister Tanya, and all the stuff people are coming at and talking about and doing this and doing that, like, what's changing? Is anything changing? If it's not changing, then I'm not worried about theories. I need some contextual facts that are going to help my people to be able to grow. And anybody that wants to be grafted into that group, let's work together. Like at the end of the day, that's what counts. All the other stuff, like we on some stuff. All the other stuff, it don't even matter that much, right? Like if we talking about something that needs to change, the system is designed where it's not changing. People keep talking about change the system. We're going to put people inside the system. You've had black people in the system as far back as you want to go. Remember, there were more black people represented in Congress. I know people don't want to hear this, but percentage-wise, as far as how many senators there were more black people in the late 1800s in the Senate than there are now. You know, there's more back then than there are now. That still didn't stop Wilmington from happening. That still didn't stop Rosewood from happening. That still didn't stop Tulsa from happening. That still didn't stop in the 1980s Philly from happening. You said, why is it called the theory? Well, it's called a theory simply because there are truth and there's stuff in it, but it's not necessarily always contextually factual. Just like on the opposite side, when people are on that whole lost cause rhetoric and stuff too, that's not contextually factual as well. I don't want the theory, right? Now, somebody might be playfully giving some banter too, where they're saying, look, it's here's a theory. If you'll just listen to my theory on why things are, but I don't want your theory. I want contextual facts. Now, do they have a lot of context in there? Sure, they got a lot of facts in there. Sure, but I don't want theories. I want contextual facts. And right, so CRT is something that it's there. It's just the latest thing to distract you. That's all. It's like BLM is really the latest thing to distract you. Right? Somebody wants me to get into deep conversation and fights, and I kind of did that for a little bit, especially on the first channel or the first TikTok page. I did that for a little bit. Hey, I'll talk about Black Lives Matter, this and that, or whatever. But people didn't get it. Like over and over again, I kept showing them in different ways. Black Lives Matter organization is different than saying Black Lives Matter. I'm not with Black Lives Matter organization, but I think that Black lives should matter, right? However, if I go into court, Black lives don't matter according to this country because they have written in Black's Law Dictionary, which is where you get your legal stuff from, that, hey, if you go into a court of law, black, Negro, colored, any of that is considered to be an artificial person. Therefore, if it's considered to be an artificial person, it's considered to be something that is a slave. So you probably shouldn't go in there talking about Black Lives Matter. And that's why you're not getting Black Lives Matter laws passed through, because somebody doesn't have to listen to you if in their system being black makes you artificial. Why would they listen to somebody who's artificial? Or if you are being artificial under the United States Corporation, which is artificial, that means that you're under them anyways as a slave. But people don't listen to it. Not because they can't, but they just choose not to. They don't have ears right now. So, after a while, it's like, hey, I can tell you over and over again, like, if you're a Republican, you should actually listen to somebody like me. If you're a Democrat, you should listen to somebody like me because I'm giving you the game. If you're a Democrat, I understand. Like, you're part of Black Lives Matter organization. That organization is designed, if you look at their pyramid that they even teach in schools today, they teach in schools, right? Every year, once at the beginning of the year now, they're going to have a Black Lives Matter pyramid that's going to pop up. And guess what? It's going to have 13 things on it. It's going to be designed for different grade levels. 9 out of the 13 are going to actually have more to do with actual LGBTQ than black people. And then the 4 that have to do with black people, they're going to say things like black women as one of them, for example. There are black women should be protected. However, there are many types of women. What are we doing? Why are we doing that? Like, I thought it was Black Lives Matter because it's an organization to help out somebody else using blackface. And then on top of that, what we'll do is, we're also giving our money to the Democratic Party, which is just one side of one wing on the bird. Now, on the other wing, if we go to the other side, all we do is we hit all lives matter. And anything attached to anything Black Lives Matter must be denigrated. If somebody like myself is saying, hey, that organization isn't that great, be careful. You'll have somebody on the other side say, we gotta take him down. How dare he say that anything that we do. It's like, if you're listening to it, I'm giving you the game. You think All Lives Matter was accidental? You think that Black Lives Matter was accidental? He said I melted the Wonder Bread wrapper. Right? Like think about it. Do you think that Black Lives Matter was accidental? You think that was an accidental thing? You think All Lives Matter was an accidental thing? You think the timing of both of those was just accidental? You don't think anybody was in cahoots at all with that? You think African American was just something that happened or black people came up with it. Black people didn't even come up with the term African American. Black people were told, Jesse Jackson was told, you're going to be African American. You're going to tell them that they're African American, and we're going to help you. We're going to help you run for president. We know you're going to lose. So what was the purpose of him running? If they know, like, how many times do you put a candidate up that you know going to lose? It happens from time to time. But how many times does it happen? And even when it happens for a reason. We know we're going to lose, but we want to put something out there that sparks interest and makes people realize that we're still here. We're trying. We're going to make sure we get up here. So we're going to put something out here that just makes that we know we're going to lose. We know the Democratic Party is not going to lose. So we already chose who the president's going to be because we know they're going to lose. So we're not worried about winning here. We're trying to make sure we put out a rhetoric. You become African Americans. Before that, it was okay to be black. You don't believe it? James Brown told you, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. And you rose a fist. They said, oh, we got to do something about that. They can't be black out here. What can they be? African American. You know how quickly people forget. Right? If you're 45, you can, all you got to be is about 5 years old. If you're 45 years old, you can probably remember a time to where you didn't even know what an African American was. I don't know. I don't know if they even touched on that in the critical race theory. At least I don't remember. But that's what's going on. How about copper-colored indigenous people? Yeah, well, there were magazines out. Just like there was a Jet magazine and the Ebony magazine, there was a magazine that looked just like them called Copper. So black people were okay with being copper. And what is an American, according to the definition, the original definition of American, is a copper-colored person indigenous to the Americas or indigenous to Turtle Island. So just came in and know he's talking about bywords be? Sorry. Like these are things that are right there in front of us. We just don't think about it. So yeah. Anyways, our Q&A session is just about done. Those who've been on with us on Patreon for a little while, we're going to try and get this. This was kind of a test. It seems like we might have had a couple different issues or whatever. So I think to make it easier next time, and I had an issue, if you notice, the link even looks a little different, the picture change. So what I'm going to try and do is I'll just wait till Tuesday next week. That way you don't have to try and scroll through different things or whatever. And we'll set it up on Tuesday. We'll make sure that we post it sometime Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you'll know specifically. I'll make sure I don't post anything else until that link is up. It'll be the very link or the very top post on Patreon. Those who've been on with us since about 7 p.m. Eastern New York time, we'll make sure that we are a little more diligent in that. I tried to make sure I sent a message to everybody so that they'd be able to get it, but apparently it didn't go through to everybody. So we'll try to get that stuff together. He said bywords is what we as Black American are called. We don't have a nation. Well, I mean, first and foremost, I won't even say you don't need a nation. You are a nation, right? If you're sovereign. But even past that, you just make sure you get a nation. You make sure you have a micronation. That's legal. If you know how to do that. Micronation is something that belongs to you. You can do whatever you want on it. You can make your own UCC. And as long as you're not breaking any laws, by the way, if you're on your own land and you got your own micronation and you have your own common laws, why you have to worry about it anyways? You can have your stuff fenced off and police don't have to come in, and you can have people walking around armed. People already do this, So, even when we say that, somebody be like, yeah, don't be black because there's no land called black. It's like, if you knew what Negro meant, if you knew what Kush meant, if you knew what Kemet meant, if you knew what Carthaginians were, if you knew, like, there's people that even call themselves slippery blacks. Like, there are a lot of people around the world that call themselves black. If you say Kemet, you're saying black. Kemet. Like, chemistry is chemetry, and all they're doing is talking about melanin. If you're talking about Ham, which is where we get this person Africa comes from and all that stuff, or at least we think we do. Ham, his name means hot. He was called hot because he was black enough to where he could be in the hottest of the sun, or the heat of the sun. His son was Cush. Cush means black. His other son was Kemet. Kemet is talking about black. It's even Putz, which is the Libya area, his third son. You're talking about black. That's what you're dealing with, So it's nice. I get it. And because this system is so messed up and colonization is so messed up, people who only want you to be known as Moors, which by the way, Moors doesn't mean that you're only from one place either. Moors stretched all throughout Africa, and then stretched all throughout Asia, and stretched all the way throughout Europe. Right? But you have a lot of people that are going to say all types of things about that or Moors, et cetera, et cetera. So, it is what it is. You have to kind of roll with that, but we just have to know more about it. Okay, thank you. Does that look like an anime character? Maybe. I don't know which one. Which anime characters look like this? I know there's a bunch of them that have hair up there, but they be doing stuff and Super Saiyan stuff and all that. Or at least maybe they look like us. They like to do stuff when they look like us, but don't give us credit. They have Gohan up there, Goku rather. Gohan comes from there too, but Goku up there have a tail on him or whatever, because he's a monkey or whatever, and have his hair kind of sort of sticking up towards the sun like ours does. But they don't want to say that he's got black in him or something like that. But remember, in their culture, in Japanese culture, if you're going to say that you're a samurai, and especially if you're going to say that you're a ninja, they say you can't even talk about being those things if you don't have at least a drop of black blood. That's a one drop rule that a lot of people didn't know about at all. Nevertheless, so thank you guys. We've been on with Patreon members, we've been on for about an hour and a half now. TikTok family, thanks for being on. YouTube family, thanks for being on this last half hour with us. We appreciate you. I've got to start getting ready for class. We've got basic Hebrew, and I've still got a lot of stuff I've got to write out and try and get ready for class. So, but we're thankful and grateful for all you guys being on with us, and we really, really do appreciate your time, your talent, your effort, your energy, resources, things like that are helping us to grow. Prayerfully, we'll have even more success next time with more Patreon members and just more Patreon members that we don't have the issues we seem to have. We seem to have a couple people that couldn't get on, but we're thankful and grateful to you all. And we're thankful and grateful we're getting to a position where we're growing again, lives on different platforms to be able to make this stuff work. We're thankful for each and every one of you. Appreciate you. Continue to do great things. Once again, we give all praise and honor to the Most High. Please make sure that you study or read, don't just be a hearer of this word, rather, but study it. Think about these things, meditate on them, so you can also be doers of them as well and execute. We give all honor and once again praise to the Most High for my wife, the Honorable Maya. You can check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest by going to Bloom and Flourish. Not A-N-D, but the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. And we're thankful as always for each and every one of you. So as always, it's been Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servant to Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time by being a voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken. Until I have the great privilege, opportunity, and responsibility of being in front of you all again, please remember as always that you are loved, you are necessary, you are majestic, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shalom, family. Peace. Oh, thank you, Sister Sharice. Appreciate you. I'm going to listen to that song again.